What is up, body bags? This is Austin here. Welcome back for another review. I'm your Wednesday host, as always. And yes, this is our special theme week, and we decided to go with Scream Factory week, which is, we could have picked any collector's edition, double feature, IFC midnight release, anything that's ever been released by Scream Factory. And I decided to go with one that recently got a release from them. I think sometime last year. Yeah, of course it was last year. I actually don't own the collector's edition of it because I don't have much of a reason to upgrade because I got the Blu-ray already, and that is Jeepers Creepers. I'm sure everybody who's watching this review has seen this movie. It's one of the most popular horror films from the early 2000s. This is one that I grew up with. This is one of the first horror films I was ever introduced to. It might even be the first. I don't know. Of course, I always remember me watching the original Halloween first before this one. But this is one I grew up with back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean 2001, 2002. So I have a ton of nostalgia for this one. So just keep that in mind when I'm rating this movie because. Probably rated a little bit higher than most people, I would imagine, but I just have a ton of history with this film. I've seen it at least 30 times in my life, man. For those of you who, if you haven't seen it, or I should probably give the plot anyways. Basically, you have this brother and sister, Derry and Trish. They're traveling on the road to go visit their mom, I believe, and they end up getting pretty much run off the road by this dude in this big truck type thing, Jeep. I don't know what the hell it even is. And it's basically about this dude. They keep running into this dude, and things just go to hell from there. And eventually find out that it is not just a dude. It is some creature, which that's one of the things that I like. Watching this one again to review it. Which I haven't watched this film in quite some time, probably about 2 years or so. And it's something like I just now that I have more experience with horror films and stuff like that, I'm able to pick out new things even from films I've seen dozens and dozens of times like this one. Just the brilliant thing I think about this film is the way that, at first we do just think it's some dude in a truck, we think it's some Rusty Nail type character who's just running people off the road or some shit. And then, things get more and more sinister and, we subtly start to figure out, this isn't a human, this is something else, and there's a scene later on in the film where Trish is by their car, and she sees something fly over. There's like a shadow over her head. Something flew over her, and it's like really subtle because it's like it doesn't come out and like show that this is like some creature that can fly or something like that. It is just really subtly points to it, and things just get more sinister and sinister throughout the movie, and I really really love that about the film, that it like hides the killer's identity in this film for most of the film, honestly, which is just awesome. The two main characters, Trish and Derry, I know some people will have a problem with the two of them, which I don't understand. I've always really enjoyed these two. They do bicker back and forth a lot, but I find that kind of stuff funny. It's like kind of childish and stuff like that, but it's it's kind of funny for me. I really, really enjoy the two of them together. They're pretty much the only two main characters throughout the movie. You get to meet some other people here and there, but they're basically the only two going throughout the movie. Some really, really great scenes in this movie. The Scarecrow scene is, probably my favorite scene in the movie, I would say. Just great, great stuff. The reveal of the creeper in this movie is just it's quite terrifying, and also at the end, the part that always used to scare me at the end was when he like has that shit coming out of his head. I guess when he's like mad or something. That always used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. But yeah, I really have always really enjoyed this film. I find pretty much everything about this movie to be really enjoyable. There is some bits of like comedy in this film, which is I think mixes really well with the film. I don't think it's like out of nowhere because the Trish and Derry characters are, you know, like I said, kind of childish. So like they after that something terrible happens, they'll be like cracking jokes afterwards. Something probably I'd do, to be honest. Even there's a couple of comedic moments with the creeper, which is kind of funny too. But I always thought it mixes well with the film. Again, it's another thing that people don't care for about this film too much. But I never, thought of it as a fault or anything. I really don't have any flaws with this movie. I mean, I just really enjoy pretty much every aspect about this movie. Like I said, I do have a lot of nostalgia with this one, so I'm gonna rate it really high. Yeah, so my rating for this movie is a 9.5 out of 10. Uh, yeah, definitely forget how much I love this movie after not watching it for a couple years. So yeah, and yes, that is going to do it for this review. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the rest of the awesome reviews for the week, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.